We're quite lucky at the moment to have 3 pairs of Brighton Bun travelling candlesticks, which are very similar in manufacture, but actually quite different in the materials used to make them. So it's quite handy to have them all at once to be able to compare them. Now, this is probably the most common set of Brighton Bun travelling candlesticks that you will see, and certainly out of these 3 that we're comparing. And they are made out of pressed brass, or at least the dishes are. So that would have been pressed out of a sheet of brass and the edge turned over to form a nice lip. And then the sconces are actually made out of cast brass. Now, you do see some sets like this, and the sconce is made out of sheet brass, which has been formed into the sconce, and the quality is just not quite as good as these, and the weight not quite as good. So that's quite a nice touch. So let's put one of these together, and as with Brighton Buns, you just screw the female section onto the male section, and there we've got a little travelling candlestick. Now, the next pair are made out of nickel plate, and again the dishes have been pressed out of sheet metal. The size of the dishes, if we compare them with a brass pair, are a little bit smaller in diameter, and the metal has actually got quite a nice deep colour to it, quite a nice grey. So let's just screw one sconce on. Now, these sconces look like they're made out of sheet metal, which has been turned into the shape and then set on to a little cast fitting at the bottom there. So there's a nickel plated Brighton Bun travelling candlestick, dates to turn of 1900, I would have thought. Now, the last pair is the pick of the bunch, really, because this set is made out of silver. They're pressed metal like the other 2 sets, so the manufacturing process is the same, but of course the quality and the material used is much, much better. So let's just set one up for you. So if we have a look just here, hopefully you can see the hallmark, and that's for Horace Woodward, and they were a Birmingham company. And the date for the hallmark, you can see there's also some marks there on the sconce just under the lip. The hallmark date is 1887. And Horace Woodward were quite a sizable Birmingham company. They also had premises in London to show off their wares. And this is really a very nice pair of pressed silver Brighton Bun candlesticks, and we don't find them very often at all in this material, so that's quite nice. You can also see perhaps there on the sconce that they've been engraved with the owner's entwined initials. So this style of candlestick became popular at the end of the 19th century. The Army and Navy store described them in their catalogues as both military candlesticks and travelling candlesticks. And of course, the manufacturing process was much quicker, so they could be sold much cheaper. The Army and Navy store also sold them with leather covers to the dishes, and they also advertised them, I think, with Russian leather and also crocodile, although I've never seen a pair with crocodile skin crocodile leather to them. Out of the 3 sets, this is probably the most common set that you'll find. But again, even with brass ones, there is a variety of quality. So you can afford to be quite choosy with them. And of course, travelling candlesticks were important for any army officer and any traveller, and so an essential bit of kit. So there you go, 3 different types of Brighton Bun, all made from the end of the 19th century, beginning of the 20th century, and comparable for the process used to manufacture them.